I used to grow up in the Hybla Valley Woodlawn region of Fairfax County, so seeing stuff like this was a huge rarity for me. And I've always wanted to have rail service go further south from Huntington to the Route 1 corridor and even beyond. But for now, the closest thing that the Route 1 corridor will get is a BRT. However, it does not have to be like that. So, with a bit of thinking and a lot of motivation from a classy whale contest, I've decided to make my own version of a REM, but this REM will serve suburbia that will slowly and surely turn it into a symphony of urbanism. So without further ado, welcome to the Potomac Regional Interurban Metro Express. That's right, it is prime time. And so we begin at the starting terminus at Huntington. Rather than continue underground, we'll start above ground in the fresh air, and also hold enough hope that Metro can still extend the yellow line past Huntington further south. And it's been done in the past. Look at what SEPTA does to the trolleys and the L. Moving on from the bitterness, the Prime is very much going to follow along the alignment of the F1X, also soon to be the 1 BRT. Long story short, the 1 BRT is a near $1 billion investment to turn Route 1 into a true BRT system, having median lanes, signal priority, level boarding, and all the other bells and whistles that BRT typically has. Unlike the A1X or Flash or the Pulse BRT, this entire route will have complete bus lanes from start to finish, which is extremely impressive. But they're only making this a BRT just because it's a cost-cutting measure. And if you look at the construction cost of the REM, it's $8.34 billion. And chances are, if we were to construct this, it would probably balloon up to $10 billion. So going back to BRT, what many people would see as a cost-cutting measure, I see as 90% of unfulfilled potential.
See, Joe! The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you and sacrifice.
And a lot of y'all are probably going to be wondering, wait, are you just going to put a metro in a bunch of suburban car-dependent sprawl? So it's going to be like the Staten Island Railway and the Norristown High-Speed Line? No. Building this line will have the full intentions of turning what looks like this into this. And we use that through the dynamic power of upzoning. Yeah, this plan keeps things up and running. So as we breeze down the main line, we are very much close to Gum Springs, which will be the site of our first spur, here in Mount Vernon. And this will be a fairly short express spur as one goes to the Mount Vernon High School and then straight to Mount Vernon itself. Right on that roundabout, which actually carries some history as that is the terminus of the Washington, Alexandria, and Mount Vernon Electric Railway. Certainly it would have been a lot more fun to use the original right-of-way, however, that has been taken over by suburbia, making it very tricky to make a right-of-way over it. But hey, I feel proud of this spur. It feels like I made a SEPTA branch. Oh wait. This is supposed to be a video mimicking the REM. Wait, let's go to Highland Center. This is a government center that provides a lot of resources for everybody living in the Route 1 corridor, and putting a station here would definitely be a great help for people who live a little bit further up north and south. Right there, that used to be the old Mount Vernon High School. Then it became one of the Islamic Saudi Arabian schools. And more importantly, this used to be a working phone. Yeah, everything's cut off, so. Now, in case anybody's wondering, this Taco Bell is the closest fast food joint to Mount Vernon, which is somewhere over there. Yeah, there's I think, a Domino's that's actually more closer to George Washington's house, but that's not, I don't count pizza as fast food. So as much as I really love this place from a nostalgic point of view, I do think that eventually this needs to be improved upon. So making this into a REM and creating really good urbanism, we can turn what is suburbia into probably a much better version of Saudi Arabia's The Line. And here we are at the Lorton VRE station. As you can see, a freight train just passed us. And as I said, it's the VRE station, the host of the Virginia Railway Express. Right now, it just only runs like peak, like in the mornings and then in the afternoons for one direction. Eventually in the future, they do want to run this hourly in both directions. And Lorton is such a bizarre area. Because not only does it have just one train station, and it has two train stations. I'm walking further down because this is such a massive, well, let's be honest, a very unnecessarily massive parking lot, which from what I've heard, it's going to turn into development soon. And looks like I can't see it. Further down there is the auto train station. Yes, that is the train that holds all the cars and transports them along with the passengers from Lorton to Florida, nearby Orlando, I believe. But anyways, both the auto train and VRE stations would make a much better hub if they were connected together. So in this proposal that I have, I will make a new metro station that would connect to both stations called Lorton Central. And yeah, many people will be wondering, wait, you're gonna put a central station, for lack of a better term, in an area that looks like this and this. Hey, who says that we still can't put more development in areas that we can't put development on? But it makes a pretty good cross point for if you're disembarking on the VRE station to go into an area where you would probably take maybe 2 or 3 buses to get back to Occoquan, for example. And also, let's say if you are taking the auto train, you know how long that's going to take. So take the Prime and you can go anywhere else while you wait for the train to finally disembark. Plus, the good news is that there is density. There's a lot of multi-family housing right here. There's also a transit accessible grill as well. And you can definitely build it. Literally, there's enough lanes to be eliminated to allow a light metro to come along. And here we are. This is the former right-of-way of the Lorton and Occoquan rail, which would definitely be a good fit for the Prime to come through here. See, it's in an area where it doesn't disrupt the neighbors too much. And again, there's like, say, history. There's already like a precedent since that rail was here before. Now, I will say that even though it is history, it is not necessarily really good history. Now, what you see looks like a fairly nice and modest type of building, but this does hold a very, very unfortunate side of history where it's actually used to be a prison. See, behind me is one of the most notorious prisons in the DC area. As originally this was meant to hold prisoners in DC as a bit of an overflow when the other jails got full. Then it became a prisoner for suffragists during the suffragist movement. And then later on, once that passed, it then just became like a regular prison for violent offenders, and it immediately became overcrowded and had led to a lot of violence, and it just became like way too out of hand that eventually in 2001 they finally closed. You can kind of see the infrastructures like the watchtowers. Entrances. A lot of it's still intact. It just feels so weird how now what was once like one of the most infamous prisons like in the area is now just urban development. But hey, crazy works. So why not add a metro station, a REM-like station to here? It works. And in the name of progression, evolution, and fighting back against oppression, this works, honestly. Well, except somewhere over there, because somehow that's a gated community, which that's a rant for another day. Here we go, just more development right here. Like, more progression that's needed. Like, so much has improved since the closure of the prison in 2001. And to put this into perspective, I was 5 years old when the prison closed. Here I am at 30 years old, and yeah, I can see like maybe a metro station being built here in maybe 15 years. So this is one of the stations where the Lorton and Occoquan would end. Obviously it would go further down here, but to serve the prison it would stop right here, because it is like acts as a bit of a labor camp. We can definitely repurpose this at the station, so that way it goes all the way down to continue on to Prince William County. So after Lorton and Occoquan, we reunite with the Route 1 corridor, but in Woodbridge. This is where we also meet with the RF&P main line. And this is where we will head into our next station, which is also a passenger train station as well. And that's Woodbridge Station. No, not that Woodbridge. We're talking about the VRE Amtrak station in Woodbridge, Virginia. It's also a host for Greyhound services and the local bus routes of Prince William County, known as OmniRide, which we are currently on at the moment. This is the 95 Metro Express connecting eastern PW County to the Franconia Metro Station. So having Prime connecting to here is easy point for easy connections, meaning more demand for these OmniRide gigs to be more frequent. And recently, OmniRide has announced more enhanced Saturday services. So adding more intermodal services increases the flames of transportation. Okay, I'm never saying that ever again. Anyways, as you can see, this area is extremely sparse. So through the power of upzoning, we can make some big TOD stonks by adding more affordable housing units and turning this part of Prince William County into an urban masterpiece, especially in the area that we will be heading further south to, and that is the iconic town of Dumfries. This area is definitely ready for a light metro, and it definitely has a lot of parking space that can be converted into more multiple housing family units. Welcome to Dumfries, and yeah, not urbanized as one would think. But what you see in what is a wasteland of car dependency in suburbia, I see as an opportunity in urbanism. That would look very similar to this right here. Yeah. Yeah, as you can see, it is definitely quite sparse, but there's so much land that can turn into pure, beautiful density with this new REM proposal that I'm making. Also, I swear, the more that I look at this hill, the more bliss-coated it gets. I mean, I guess this could be a good place for a station. See, plenty of empty lots. Oh, DMV. I don't know about that. Well, that concludes this line of the corridor. Maybe eventually there will be future provisions to like pick it up to Quantico, but I feel like this is a good place to stop here. It definitely needs a lot more QD development. And now we head a little bit up north into the Potomac Mills Mall, where the Prime 2 will spur off into. And already with that Cheesecake Factory, we're already winning ridership. And don't let these empty parking spots fool you, it just needs more TOD. But anyways, it is a fairly popular mall. There's also a Costco nearby, and there is also an IKEA just not too far, where you can get one of these things. And with this system, they will spread all over Northern Virginia. Alrighty, that's gonna do it here with Potomac Mills. Definitely a much needed area to get Metro in. And also it's gonna be a much better connection when we head from the mall to Manassas. So it definitely works. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to take the 96. You can actually look at that on the April Fool's video. Now, will I get a Gillig that's brand new or an MCI that's really, really old? Vote now on your phones. A new one. So unfortunately, I could not go to Manassas. It has been quite a very busy summer for me, just on a very personal level. But allow me to explain the route. So it will go along the Prince William Parkway for the final spur. And yes, basically I am using the April Fool's Day video as a means to make a light metro line. And to be fair, that area is say very much sparse, so there's definitely plenty of room to put in a light metro that's automated there. And no, we're not gonna get a loud and gateway on it. We're gonna keep it focused on the areas that are dense enough, so there will be stations from the Quartz District, kind of near Dale City, Nottingham, and Lake Ridge. And then afterwards, it will just be zoom in through miles and miles of forest and maybe some farmland up until South Manassas, where the high school will be. And last but not least, Manassas Station, with a provision to extend it to the Broad Run Airport section once the Manassas Airport fully gets upgraded to the Washington Manassas Airport. Now, I did thought about tunneling that final portion, but just how expensive it is, I'm not gonna tunnel it. If I were to be given billions of dollars, I think it's either at grade level or separated from above, with viaducts and bridges and stuff like that. Because it's a lot more cheaper than boring it or doing a cut and cover, which cut and cover is a little bit cheaper than boring, but still expensive. Now, as I mentioned before, I am not really a transit expert. I'm more of just a transit fan, a transit enjoyer, and a very, very frequent transit user. That being said, I am not an expert in fares. But what I will say is this. We're gonna make this as simple as possible and just have it just integrated with the WMATA Smart Trip card. And as far as say zonal basing is concerned, I think we'll just have it very much similar to the REM, where it's easy to understand, and hopefully it is not too prohibitively expensive. Because yes, the metro here does get pretty expensive on the weekdays. Other things that I thought about is what would like the station wayfinding would look like, and I decided to like say copy a lot of it like from WMATA, but give it like its own twist. So rather than having like say that very corporate, very brutalist type of brownish color, we're gonna have like say a more bright green color. Like the pylons will be bright green, the signages will be bright green, and instead of doing circular bullets, we will do rounded square bullets, just like the latest Discord upgrade. Yeah. And last but not least, I will have my rent-free roommate discuss the importance of why this is needed. Am I right? What are you wearing? No, that's not what we're doing. I just want you to make a very empowering speech, not whatever you're trying to do. This is not karaoke night. Alright, those words should not be coming out of your mouth. I don't want to hear you sing. No, please do not. No, please do not sing. Please, I'm begging you not to sing this. Oh no. No. None of it even makes any sense. Alright, you know what? That's it. You get the point. We need Metro like in Prince William County till we meet again. Bye bye.